So in this video, we're going to look at the 5 things that you need to be a super salesman, or the things that you could do to improve. Now, as far as I'm concerned, everybody is a salesman, whether you're selling a product or you're selling yourself. It's all about sales, and you can do certain things right, and certain things that you can do which are easy to change. So, like I said, I'm going to go through the 5 things that I think which everybody can either do or change their habits in order to get better at sales. So the first one is the obvious one. You've got to look good, you've got to look the part, you've got to look sharp. I used to have a colleague always used to say, even if you're no use at the job, at least you can look good or look the part, wear a nice suit. He used to call it have a shiny suit and pointed shoes, right? That was his thing. Now, I'm not suggesting you go out and buy a shiny suit and wear pointed shoes, but what he was trying to say is that it's easy to look the part even though you don't know what you're doing. And he was telling me this because at the time I was like a young apprentice rookie, and he says, look, you can do things straight away that you can change, and the easiest thing you can do is change your appearance. So that's number one. Number two is that you need to know your product. And again, I'll go back to my old sales manager guy that took me under his wing, and he always used to say this, that unless you know what your product is, you can't explain it. Now, if you know your product inside out, you're ahead of the competition. Not only the competition, but you're ahead of your client, right? You know 10 times, 20 times, 100 times more about what you're selling than the client does. Now, there is exceptions to the rule there, and I'll hold my hand up straight away. And when I'm buying something, I usually research it to death. And the chances are that if I'll take a car for example, I'll know the thing inside out in regards to the technical stuff, the type of different models, etc. And this is where one thing where the guys get it wrong. It's so easy to go out there, spend a couple of months learning the product, going through all your manuals, whatever the case may be, your books, the regulation, get up to date with the market. Even if you spent 10-15 minutes every morning just getting up to date, you have to know your stuff, because if you don't know your stuff, it just makes you look like a fool, and there is no way you're going to get a sale. That's number one. And also it shows that you're professional, that you're actually taking care of actually getting the client what they're looking for. It's not just a case of, yeah, there it is, you want to buy it, yes or no. The easiest thing in the world is to say, oh, and this is where the guys who actually sell products like cars, etc., you can actually see them. I used to say this all the time, coming from a financial services background. What we do in sales, you can't see it. Sometimes we're just selling you a bit of paper. It could be an insurance policy, and it's a concept in your head. Whereas these guys they're actually seeing something. You can actually see it, taste it, lick it, whatever you want to call it. It's tangible, right? These are the easiest products to sell in the world, because you're actually getting something physical in your hand straight away. Whereas what we were doing, we were selling you a concept. So our job was 10 times harder than everybody else. So that's number two, you need to know your product. Number three is that you need to be accountable, right? If something goes wrong, take responsibility. Take it on the chin, say, look, yes, I got it wrong. Let me ask you, how can I fix it? And don't question anybody. The worst thing in the world, and you get it, especially, I'm going to go back to the car sales because it's prominent in my mind at the moment, that when you go, if you've got a problem with a car, the first thing they do is they question you, give you 100 questions. Why not just say, yes, we'll fix it, bring it in, we'll fix it. And we got the same thing in our business. If anything went wrong, we'll fix it. We're not interested how it went wrong. Just tell me, and we'll give you the solution, right? Or we'll try our best to get to what you want in regards to solution wise. There's always an amicable arrangement that the client's looking for. And this is where guys fail, is they don't take accountability and they try and pass the buck. Oh, that was something else. It was the guy in the office or the girl in the office, or it was head office is always the one you always get. Oh, that was nothing to do with the head office. It was your solicitor, it was your accountant. Take accountability. You get more respect for it. Yeah. If you go wrong, say you've gone wrong, and move on. Get on with the next deal. The fourth thing is, And this is the biggest failure of every sales guy out there, is they never follow up after the sale. They get the deal done and they move forward onto the next client, um, and they forget about what they've done previous. It's so much easier to service a client than to make a new one. And anybody who's in sales will tell you this, that it's 10 times harder to get a new client than just to go back and see somebody that you know already. And this is, the, like I said, the biggest issue that guys have is they don't go back and follow up. They get too busy, get so hooked up. We had an old saying, you get hunters and farmers. Yes, you make less money being a farmer. You'd rather be a hunter, getting new clients. We used to call it getting new blood all the time, getting new people through the door. That's fine, but don't forget the guys that have given you business already. Go back, give them the service that they deserve. At the end of the day, they bought into you already. They already believe you, trust you, etc. So go back on follow up, even just to say, well, how did you find that process? And even if it's negative, you'll gain something of it, because trust me, you won't make the same mistake again. So even if the client came back to you and say, oh, by the way, I wasn't happy with this, or you could have done that better, brilliant. I want to hear that kind of stuff, because now I'll know what to do differently next time. It's easy. The fifth thing, and this is another one, and especially in my business, financial services, we used to get the guys who would do one sale on Monday or Tuesday and you wouldn't see them all week. They would go play golf, just decide not to come in, basically take the rest of the week off. Some cases take the month off. Some guys had huge cases and then you wouldn't see them for weeks on end. Best thing, that advice I can give you, and like I said, it's number 5, is keep on doing it every day. The guys who are successful in this business, in any business, are the guys who can go into work day in, day out and do the same thing, execute every single time, every day of the week. It's the guys who get complacent, the guys who decide, right, I've done my deal for the day, I've done my deal for the week, and that's it, I'm going to go and play golf. There's plenty of time to play golf at 6, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock at night, right? You don't have to be on the golf course at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Anyway, that's some 5 tips I can give you to be a better salesperson. I'm going to go through each individual one in other videos and explain what I mean by certain aspects. For example, how you can actually know your product, and it's so easier if you've got a game plan. So we'll talk about how we get a game plan in place for going forward. Stay safe. Like I said before, if you like the channel, hit the subscribe button and I'll give you some more insight into some of the stuff that or experiences that I've had in the past. Stay safe. Speak to you soon.